I'm going to say it right now. Bernardo Silva is the most important signing so far of this summer transfer window for Real Madrid. I am super impressed by how he's playing during pre-season. Yes, he is more important than the signing of Cucurella, more important than Dumfries. He is the most important signing so far in the summer campaign. Let's break it down. Throughout the preseason games so far, Bernardo Silva has really impressed me, particularly him playing, in the middle of midfield alongside Camavinga. Okay, this guy against Deportivo, the way he received the ball, the way he progressed the ball, his defensive work rate as well in the middle of the pitch, his dribbling, the way he moves out of pressure, and I love how press resistant he is as well. This guy is going to be a very important player for Real Madrid this season. Okay, now his performance against Deportivo yesterday, let's just go through it. Okay, this guy had 92% accurate passing rates, 1 chances created, 2 defensive contributions, 94 touches, 100% successful dribbles. Passes in the final third was 10 passes. We're seeing his creativity here and him trying to make things happen. This kind of profile is what Real Madrid have been missing for the past 2 years, ever since Cruz retired. Defensively, made 2 great tackles. So he was everywhere. He was everywhere, made 8 recoveries. This guy was creating, he was defending, he was everywhere against Deportivo. He is a profile the Real Madrid need in midfield. Now, when they took him off, okay, and when they played Camavinga with Valverde, that was a horrible, horrible mistake, okay? Camavinga and Valverde will not work. All Valverde can do is win the ball and run with the ball and pass it to another creative player. He isn't that profile they need to spark something. That's a huge part of the game he's missing as a midfielder. In fact, Valverde is better as a right back than a central midfielder. In my opinion, they should not have signed Trent. They should have moved Valverde in the right back spot, in my honest opinion, but nothing I can do about that. Now, Bernardo Silva, this guy is going to be very important next year. Madrid are not going to get Rodri. They're not going to buy Rodri. They're going to rely on the midfielders they have right now. And they have 2 creative midfielders, in my opinion, Arda Güler and Bernardo Silva. They both need to start. Güler needs to be in that number 10 role, and Bernardo Silva has to play in that central midfield role. So that means that either Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Valverde will be fighting for the other central midfield spot. All right. And I feel like it probably will be a Bernardo Silva and Tchouaméni central midfield. Okay, the way Silva is playing right now, they need that creative outlet, someone that can control the game, someone that can pass the ball and progress the ball. And Bernardo Silva is that player. Marino is definitely going to play a 4-2-3-1. No ifs, no buts. A lot of players won't make that starting 11. They won't. And based on what I'm seeing in the preseason so far, it's going to be very, very hard. Silva needs to play. Whether it'll be Bernardo Silva alongside Jude Bellingham, could that work? I don't know. I really don't know. How is Marino going to make this work? Because you can't drop Arda Güler and you can't drop Bernardo Silva. Based on what we've seen in the preseason games so far, Bernardo Silva is that guy. Bernardo Silva, is going to be very important, particularly in the part where Madrid could not sign Rodri. And you can see how stacked Madrid's central midfield is. But in my opinion, they have the wrong players. Camavinga needs to leave, okay? And Valverde needs to be a right back backup. Ideally, it's probably going to be Tchouaméni, Bellingham, Silva fighting for that starting spot in the central midfield. Now, I feel like Tchouaméni will be a definite starter, and you got to play Bernardo Silva alongside Tchouaméni. So where will Bellingham fit? I don't know. Knowing how they spent so much money on Bellingham, they're probably going to put Güler on the bench and put Bellingham in that number 10 role, which I feel like is the wrong thing to do, but I'm not the coach. But Bernardo Silva is a magician. He's a magician, and he's coming on a free transfer, and he's exactly the profile Real Madrid need: creativity, the experience, the passing, the work rate, etc., etc. He did tire near the end of the game, but they need to start this guy. They need to start Bernardo Silva. No ifs, no buts. They need to start him, because what I've seen so far from this guy in the preseason games, he's creative. He can control games. He can make things happen. He's a great passer. This guy played under Pep Guardiola, so he knows all about passing and movement, vision, making the right pass, finding the right players. This guy has to start for Real Madrid, and he absolutely balled out against Deportivo. He really did. I was super, super, super impressed. I really was. He's going to be a very, very important player. And Mourinho needs to find a way to make things work. I feel like a 4-2-3-1 formation is the best for Real Madrid. I don't feel 4-3-3 will work for them. I don't. Güler doesn't work well in a 4-3-3 formation. He's not a right winger. He's not a central midfielder. He's a pure classic number 10 in the Mesut Ozil ilk. Bernardo Silva can play right wing and central midfield, but you want Bernardo Silva in that central midfield. So massive headaches here for Jose Mourinho. I feel like Tchouaméni with Silva is going to be probably the smart choice to do in the upcoming seasons for Real Madrid. I'll be honest with you. Playing, I feel like Camavinga played well, but Camavinga and Valverde together, they're just not creative players. They win the ball, they pass on to a creative player, and that's it. They don't make things happen. They really don't. The Camavinga Valverde pivot isn't gonna look good. It won't work. It has to be either midfield of Jude, Silva, Tchouaméni. But Arda Güler has to start. So again, I'm rooting for Silva. He's a magician. I was super impressed by his performance yesterday. That's a profile they need, especially knowing how they couldn't even get Rodri. Silva's gonna step up. He's gonna step up real good and make things happen. Madrid have to make sure that Silva's playing, or else their midfield, which is a huge problem, will get overran easily. So could Tchouaméni and Silva work in the middle? Potentially. Could Bellingham and Silva work in the middle? Potentially. There's many things that Jose could do. I'm Charles Matchday. Subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks for watching.